Hello and welcome to this edition of the Ferrell Phelps Show. We're celebrating Breast Cancer Month. My guest today is Latonya Wilson and Cheri Kirby. Welcome to the show. Yeah, these ladies are survivors and surviving breast cancer, and they're surviving it victoriously. And man, you know, of course, I know your testimony and your experience with breast cancer, but the viewing audience may not. Let them know a little bit about your experience.
Okay, well, one correction. I am a two-time breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed the first time at 32, and just like probably anybody else, I always thought that this would never happen to me. Being a veteran from the United States Army, doing everything right, just watch out what I ate, just anything, just doing anything for anybody. But the same way how the last guest was saying on your show, I was so busy pleasing people, I wasn't pleasing God. So sometimes we have to go through certain things for us to come back to Him. And I used to always tell people I was raised in the church and how I was doing this, how I was doing that, but I strayed away. So it took for me to get diagnosed with breast cancer for me to actually come back to God. And for me to stop doing certain things that I was doing and realize what my purpose was in life as well. So I was diagnosed at 32. I took 8 sessions of chemotherapy, 36 sessions of radiation. And it was rough. It was rough and it was hard, but I'm a fighter. And I always tell people and let them know that just because you're diagnosed is not the end of the world.
Right.
Go ahead and go through it. Go through everything. Don't give up. Because if you give up on yourself, you're giving up on God. So that's why you have to always continue to go through, regardless of what you're going through. Always keep that faith. 5 years later, I was diagnosed for the second time.
Okay.
My first time was worse than my second time. While I was diagnosed the second time, it was very small. So I just opted just to go ahead and get my breast removed. So,
okay, so you actually had both of your breasts removed?
Yes, I had both my breasts removed.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I want to go back to the first time. At the age, you said 32.
32.
And is that a recommended age? They suggest that you get breast cancer testing?
No, they recommend at the age of 40. Which now they're actually working on that with the insurance companies, and they're trying to put a different policy now because you have females in their teens that's getting breast cancer now. So, but the age was 40 to start getting mammograms done, but they're trying to change that policy now.
Really? And you know, when I hear the age 32, and so often I've associated breast cancer testing with women that are into their 40s, like you were saying a moment ago. So when you say 32 and diagnosed with breast cancer, and then teens are now being diagnosed with breast cancer?
Yes.
This is all news to me. But you know what? That's the purpose of the show, to educate people about what's happening. And this is certainly educating those people. And now at the age of 32, at the age of 32, when you first got that news, what was that like for you?
Ooh, I was depressed. I was upset. And just like anybody else, I thought it was the end of the world. I actually thought that I was going to die.
Okay.
Because I saw my father pass away from cancer, you know, from cancer. So, you know, I'm thinking that's how it's going to be. But today is different from back in the day. The medicines are different. The treatments are different. So you have a longer of a lifespan now than how it was from back in the day.
Back in the day. Okay.
Yeah, but I was depressed. I was depressed. But it took me about 3 weeks for me to just go through that. But I'm human. You know, I'm human. So it took me about 3 weeks to actually get over it. And after that,
you're ready to fight.
I was ready to fight after that.
And you know, one thing that I have learned for myself, when you first get devastating news, it's hard to rationalize all this in your head when it first hits home for you, and it takes a moment for you to come back to that center where you're like, okay, now I'm ready to take action against whatever it is that's taking place in my life. So when you go through something, give yourself that moment to be in that space at that time, and in due season, you're going to get back to that place where you're like, okay, now I know what I need to do. Exactly. And you start to seek help. You start to do this. You start to do that. And then for you, it came back a second time. Now, the second time, you said it wasn't as...
It wasn't as bad because I was going to the doctor like every 6 months, every 3 months.
Okay.
I wasn't the type of person that actually, to go get checked, to go to the doctor. But now, as soon as I feel something, I don't care if I break a nail, I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor.
Okay.
So I caught it real early. I mean, it was
Okay.
very small. But because I already had it once, it was still serious.
Yeah.
So for me I was 37 at the time. So for me being 37, I just opt to go ahead and remove my breast.
Okay.
So I had them removed, and I didn't look back.
Yeah. And I think that's wonderful. And I think also what that says is that your femininity and your womanhood was not tied to your breast.
And you have a lot of females, they think that our body is it. They think that our body is what makes us a woman. And a lot of times we put our bodies on a pedestal. But the same way how you got it, suppose if it's taken away, then what? What do you have after that?
Absolutely. And so you have to, absolutely. And I have to say something about you because I knew you before we did the show, and we actually had a photo shoot here, and you actually took everything off for that photo shoot. You literally bared your chest for that shoot and showed the world what this looks like, unashamedly, but boastfully and boldly. I commend you for doing that. Yeah. And when you're that liberated and you're able to show it, then you're liberating other women.
Absolutely.
Like yourself, who's going through it. You let them know, hey, I'm still good.
Exactly.
I'm still pretty. I'm still cute, and I'm still fighting.
Exactly.
It ain't over. It ain't over, and I think that's amazing. Now, we have a second guest. Now, you chose chemotherapy and radiation for your treatment.
The first time.
The first time. Now, Cheri, tell me, and for yourself, when you first found out, how did you respond?
I was devastated. I was 28 years old. 30 years ago. I just told my age.
Well, when you look this good, you can tell your age. They say something about black don't do something. I don't know what the other word is, but black don't do something. Yeah. So 20, you were diagnosed the first time at age 28?
28 with breast cancer, stage 3 breast cancer. And then it came back 2 years later in both breasts at 30. So between 28 and 30, I went through the aggressive chemotherapy and radiation. And it was harsh back then. It was very harsh. But it worked. It saved my life. And I was cancer-free for 25 years. Cancer just reoccurred in 2013. I am now a five-time cancer survivor. I'm battling my sixth cancer right now. MD Anderson when I leave here to get my CT scan result. But you can still live through cancer.
Yeah.
But it started with breast cancer.
And at the age of 28?
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what we said a moment ago. Yours was 32. And it's amazing that the information that was being fed to women was get tested in your latter years. So I think what you guys are saying today is going to really make a difference in the viewers when they get to hear it. No, you need to go in earlier. I want to ask you, you know what? We're going to have to come back. We're going to be back in just a moment, y'all, with more of the Ferrell Phelps Show. We're going to continue to talk about breast cancer. Stick around. We'll be back. Welcome back to this edition of the Ferrell Phelps Show with my guest today, Latonya Wilson and Cheri Kirby. For those of you that might be just joining us, you see all the pink here. We're certainly celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Both these ladies are survivors. Now, when we left off, Cheri, you were telling us that you were first diagnosed at the age of 28.
Yes.
Did you actually go to get a mammogram at that age?
I did.
And what triggered you to do that?
I don't remember why I went for that mammogram. However, I was misdiagnosed. After that mammogram, I accidentally kind of rubbed my arm against my breast and I felt something.
Okay.
And it didn't feel right. So I went to the doctor and he misdiagnosed me. He told me if I wasn't so skinny, I wouldn't have felt it. It was just a spur. And
wow.
I thought, great. But 6 months later, it changed shape and it felt very strange. And my instinct says something is wrong with this. And I went back to the doctor.
Okay.
And it was a federal emergency at that point. put me in the hospital, diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And I had just had a mammogram 6 months prior that said I was clear. So, but today, we have thermographies and other more advanced technology where they can detect it, because mammograms aren't necessarily the greatest. So, that was it, stage 3 breast cancer. And I went through the chemo and the radiation, and then 2 years later it came back in both breasts, and I had both of them removed.
Okay, so you too have had both yours removed?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
And what was that like for you? I know different women experience different things with that. What was that like for you?
I shut down, with the cancer. Okay. I actually referred to myself in the third person. I mean, that was just me.
Yeah.
How I dealt with it. I didn't take on the emotion of it. I just said, what do I have to do? And whatever they told me to do, I did it.
Okay.
And it worked.
Okay. Okay.
For a while.
Right, and then
you can't separate yourself from yourself. I've learned that.
Yeah, no matter where you go, there you are.
So that third person didn't work. I should have dealt with it at the time, because 25 years later, it showed back up again. So.
And at that time, you dealt with it the best way that you knew how to deal with it.
That's all I knew.
And a lot of times, that's all that we can do, is deal with it as best we know how to do it in that particular situation or circumstance in our lives. Now, you've chosen a different method of treatment this time around, as opposed to the chemotherapy. You're doing holistic, right?
Yes, I am. And I would say I'm doing integrative therapy. Chemo works. I've had chemotherapy 3 times in my life. I respond well to chemotherapy. I'm still here.
Amen.
But I know that my body cannot withstand it anymore. God has told me to step out on faith and use His pharmacy to heal my body.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe that He has given us everything we need. Fruits, vegetables, herbs, minerals to heal our bodies. So, we were designed to be healthy. And so I've got to give my body what it needs. 6 weeks ago, I was in a wheelchair. I was bedridden. I had 103 temperature from a clinical trial that I was in. They were giving me drugs that they told me was not chemo, but we don't know.
Okay.
But I knew I wasn't going to get through that. And I made the decision. I prayed to God and asked Him what to do. He said, trust me. Trust me. And by then I had already started the holistic. I was doing integrative, traditional and holistic therapy.
Okay.
Because since 2013, which was the worst cancer that I had, I learned to juice. I learned to eat fruits and vegetables. I learned to deal with my emotions. I didn't separate myself from myself this time.
No more third person, huh?
And I learned how to take responsibility for my recovery. It wasn't my doctor's responsibility to heal me. I had a responsibility. I had to do the research. I had to learn what to do for me. And so I was able to get through that treatment using holistic therapies. My doctors were amazed at how quickly I recovered from that surgery. I had my esophagus removed. They took my esophagus out and pulled my stomach up to my throat. My stomach is literally right here in my throat. Wow. So, and I bounced right back. Came back in 14 in my abdomen, my chest, and now it's in my liver, my lung. And I'm still living and so God is amazing. It's only because I am taking responsibility and I'm giving my body what it needs to withstand what traditional medicine is doing. And my doctors love it. They love it because we're a team now. My holistic doctor and my traditional doctor work together.
Really?
And they understand the benefit of both. They have their but they see it working, and so they're supporting me in my decision to walk the road. And so it's hard work to walk both and make those decisions. But God is guiding me. I trust what He tells me to do, and I do it.
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, step out on faith.
Yeah. And that is truly stepping out on faith.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. That's all I can say is just wow. Man. And so now you said from 6 weeks ago to now. 6 weeks ago you were in a wheelchair. And I remember us having a phone conversation and you were telling me that. And now you're out and about, you're living.
Boxing.
boxing,
riding my bike, walking
riding a
about.
bike. I mean,
60 push-ups.
and so again, it's a testimony and a testament as to what God can do. And it's so important that we are able to be in a quiet place long enough to hear
Yes.
Him speak
Yes.
to us
Yes.
and guide us and direct us in our paths.
Yes,
And that's what you've done.
yes. He said, walk away, trust me. And I've gotten stronger each and every day doing what he tells me to do.
Right, right. And you were just in, was it Dallas?
Yes, I'm receiving treatment in Dallas.
In Dallas.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming you did your research on the type of treatment that you're getting
Yes.
now, and that's how you found the person
Yes.
in Dallas?
Actually, my intent was to go to Mexico or to Germany. Those are my two choices that are still available to me.
Okay.
However, I found a doctor in Dallas who does pretty much what they do in Mexico, and it was closer and
Yeah.
a little less expensive, so I thought I'd try that first. So based on the results that I get today, will
Okay.
determine what my next step is. I just live each day as it comes. If this cancer is showing up more aggressive, then I will become more aggressive.
Yes.
Oh,
If it's
wow,
we've
yeah.
kind of kept it at bay and it's slowing down, maybe I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And so he'll tell me what to do. It's a journey. I know I'm on this journey for others. I clearly understand the anointing that's on my life and why I'm still here. My doctors have told me, even MD Anderson said, no one gets to tell the story that you're telling. They don't live this long.
Yeah.
6 times with the kind of cancer I had, stage 4, several times. The doctor said we don't get to tell the story. Most people aren't willing to impose the discipline upon themselves to watch what we're putting in our mouths.
Right.
You know, they tell you eat ice cream, eat cakes and pies. Get your weight up. Get your weight up. You're too small. So I don't eat that. I don't eat that. Well, you got to gain weight, but I got to live too. And so we have that battle. But I fall off sometimes. I like potato chips once in a while. But I had to learn to let the sugar go, let the processed food go, the fast food. I had to let all that stuff go.
Yeah.
Fried food, the fried chicken, fried catfish. You know, I just had to walk away and accept a plant-based diet
Okay.
that was nourishing my body, giving it what it needed to heal itself. Our immune systems are remarkable, but we gotta give it what it needs
Right.
to do the job that God designed it to do. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing, and it's working.
You know, when I hear you say that about the intake for your body, what you're putting into your body, I look at it like a bank account. You can't get out of it what you don't put into it. And if we want to be able to get a good return on our investment, we have to invest properly so that we can get that. You know, yeah. And that is discipline, man. You gotta have some discipline for that, and you obviously have the discipline. Not only the discipline, but the desire
Absolutely.
to live.
You gotta help other people. It was amazing. There was a lady in the lobby that was talking. She was given a diagnosis of breast cancer years ago, and she said she didn't accept it. She didn't claim it, and she went on a plant-based diet, became vegetarian, and she's still here today. And she never took any treatment. Sitting here talking,
Wow.
waiting for this person again today. Yes, sir. So it works, and I've met so many people in my research and groups that I'm part of now, alternative treatment groups, people that have healed themselves of cancer without chemotherapy and radiation. I'm not telling anyone not to do it because it works. It worked for me, but I do believe you have to do them both to help your body recover.
Which is what you're doing
But
right
you
now.
do what God tells you to do. Everyone is different.
That's it.
Everyone is
Everyone
different.
is
Yes,
different.
absolutely. Wow. I am being blessed by this show. I hope you guys are being blessed by this show as well. We're going to be back in just a moment with more of the Ferrell Phelps Show. You guys stick around. We'll be back.
1 in 8. Your best friend, your sister, you. If 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, then it affects all of us. But together we can raise awareness, fund research, and fight for a cure. The end of breast cancer starts with you.
Won't you stay with me?
All right, Welcome back to this edition of the Ferrell Phelps Show with my guest Latonya Wilson and Cheri Kirby. We are talking about breast cancer, and man, we are hearing testimonies from you ladies that are just, bringing a brother to tears for real. I'm just blown away by it. And Cheri is a six times. And the method that you've chosen is not necessarily a traditional method.
Right.
You've chosen to go a different route. You've really taken control of your health yourself, is the best way to put that. What would you say to a woman who may be experiencing breast cancer right now and what she's going through? What would you say to that person?
Trust your own thought process. Ask questions. Question your doctors. If something doesn't feel right, do research. And the answers are out there. But if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. I've had doctors get ready to administer treatment, and I'll say, I don't think I'll make it through it. And they say, we agree. And then they don't do it. Well, what if I hadn't said that?
Right.
They would have gone on and hooked up that chemo line.
Right.
But I knew in my heart that I wouldn't make it through. I was too weak. And so trust your instinct. And give your body what it needs. Rest, good food, good friends, laughter, love. Just nourish yourself.
Right.
And you can heal. I am a living, walking testimony. I didn't always do that. When I was 28, when I was 30, I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had cancer the third, fourth, fifth, and now the sixth time.
Is that right?
If I had known then what I know now.
Got you. Wow.
And so that's why I'm still here, to help these younger women understand that we are responsible for our own health and well-being.
Absolutely. How important is support?
Support is everything. I had a tremendous support system each time. In 13, with the worst cancer, friends rotated in from all over the country to take care of me, family. I mean, surgery parties. I mean, we celebrated.
Yeah.
We didn't get woe is me. And when I heard stage 4, I didn't say, oh God, I'm about to die. I didn't embrace that. I said, okay, I got my fight, I got my courage, and my friends rallied around me. When I told them I can't do this, they said, you don't have to, we're going to do it for you. So it was their life energy that kept me going. So it's very important. I know some people don't talk about cancer in our families. We don't want to tell people. So you got to tell folks, because you need that energy. So yeah, you got to share it.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. If you don't talk about things, people don't know.
Right.
And if they don't know, they can't support. So when you're able to tell your truth, and people that love you, they going to be there for you.
Can't be prideful.
Can't be prideful.
Ask for help.
Got to ask for help. And it's okay. And also what I say about that, it's important that you surround yourself with, even before you have a challenge. Because when that challenge comes up, the people that are really there for you will be there for you. And that's important. And obviously, you surrounded yourself with some wonderful people that have stepped up to the plate and blessed you. And actually, one of those people is here today. What's her name?
Andrea.
Andrea, we want to thank you for the love and the support of your friend. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely.
Friends I haven't seen in 25 years. I haven't seen her in 17 years. Another friend, we were friends when we were 17 years old, came and took a month off of her job from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to come take care of me. I hadn't seen her in 30 years. But when they heard I was sick, they said, get there. So you got to invest in people. That's the other thing I tell these young people. We're into technology and all that. You better spend time investing in people. You never know what you're going to need.
You never know. And you know what? For people people to step up to the plate for you the way that they are, it's actually a testament as to the person that you are.
Yes.
Because of the person that you have been,
Yeah.
and you have been in their lives, they're willing to step up and step into your life
absolutely.
at a time of need. So I want to commend you for being the person that you are. A lot of times we get back what we give. We get back what we give. Latonya, you also have a wonderful support system. Tell me a little bit about your support system. And somebody's here with you today as well.
Miss Crystal. My support system is, of course, being in the military. I took my being away from home, my military family, my overseas family was my family. And so the same thing, if I haven't spoken to someone in a while, like I'm used, for instance, when I was in Kuwait and I actually had to have my breast removed, and it was a hard decision. At first, I didn't worry about it. It just came off my tongue. Let's remove them. Then I had to go home and think about it. Like, did I really just tell this doctor to remove my breast?
Right.
Because just like any other young woman, it's like, wow, I'm about to remove my breast. This is my womanhood. This is me. But it's not. I actually had one of my friends to actually fly all the way over to Kuwait, even though I had my support system there, but she thought it wasn't good enough. I had my fiance there. That wasn't good enough for her. She was like, I'm coming over there. So she actually flew over there to actually support me and help drain tubes, everything. While I was going through everything, and just like she said, it takes a support system. The doctor said I was going to stay in the hospital for 3 days. I didn't take no medication, no nothing. When I came out of surgery, that was the only medication they gave me. Throughout that day, I was in a little bit of pain, but with the laughter of people coming to see me, I'm joking and just having fun. That night, my fiance was like, Tanya, you gonna go ahead and take the medicine? It's like he wanted me to take it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take that. And he cracked a joke. You have legal drugs sitting right there, and you're not gonna take it. I'm like, no, I'm good. And so that the next day when the doctor came in and he noticed I didn't take it, he was like, you wanna go home? And everybody was like, no, you say for 3 days, but he was like, she's strong. And I mean, I got up, I was out shopping with the drainage tubes and everything, because it was just, like you said, the support of your friends and the happiness. And I mean, it helps. So I mean, people need to understand, a person can be strong, but the strongest person can fall. And even though I'm a strong person, but sometimes you can fall. And if I didn't have the support system like how I had that time, I probably would have failed.
Yeah.
But just having my friends and the people that's there, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. And then I'm just sitting here, I just want to piggyback off of her a little bit. I'm just sitting here just listening to her story, surviving cancer for 6 times. And I used to always wonder, suppose it happened to me again, even though I'm not claiming it, but I'm human. And now I'm just sitting here listening to her like, wow, she did it 6 times. I can do it again. I can survive
Put
it
your
again.
gloves back on.
And I'm just sitting here amazed at her story, like, wow, and like she said too, she's here to tell the story. So now I'm going to be following her to make sure, because even being a 2-time breast cancer survivor, we still going through this stuff every day. So now I'm going to find out more ways on how to actually continue to treat myself or to continue to keep myself healthy by just following her, listen to her, and get advice from her. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having me on this show and just listen to her testimony.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Wow, this is wonderful.
Wow. Yeah, it is. I don't get taken aback by a lot of things, but this show I'm really taken aback by. And your testimonies are just more than phenomenal. And what I had not mentioned in the process of having the show with you guys today is that my best friend was diagnosed with breast cancer. We were actually on a trip to Jamaica, and she you know how you do your own self-exam, and she began to do that, and she said, I think I feel something, and she said, feel this, and I put my hand there, and I was like, I don't know if I feel anything, but when we get back to the States, let's make sure you get to the doctor. And she went to the doctor, and lo and behold, she actually had breast cancer. I think it was stage 3. It might have even been 4 at that time. And so, and I remember the day that she called me, she said, I want you to go with me. I said, okay, I'll be there. And what was funny about it is that we had a big fight. You know how friends fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But cause I be fighting, but I got some friends, y'all. Some of them here right now. Okay. when she called me and said, "I want you to be there," instantly all the upset stuff that we had. Okay, I'm there.
That's right.
And so I went and I sat at the table with the doctor as he told her, "You have," and she immediately jumped up from the table and began crying and running out the room. And I said, "No, we're gonna get through this together.
That's right.
It's gonna be okay." And it's so important that you have friends that are there for you when you're going through those times. And she began to go through the process of the everything that you ladies have been through already. And she, they said after a while, they said, "Okay, we got it." And so we were like, whew, you know, we made it through. A few months later, we thought we got it. You know, they thought they got it. It was a reoccurrence or whatever. And so on and so forth. She was on her way to, then they thought they got it at that time again. All right, she did the radiation to shrink things down and this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. And then she had the mastectomy on the breast that was cancerous, and she kept the breast, and then they were going to go back in and reconstruct, as you guys know about the reconstruction. And in the midst of that, we thought everything was fine. I actually chronicled her journey through breast cancer. I photographed it from the beginning until the day she died, literally in photographs, in pictures, and I'll have to share those pictures with you guys. And so we thought we had it, you know. And she was on her way to work one particular day, and she had was putting her shirt on, and her arm just went limp, she said. So she called me that day, and I ended up going to the hospital, and she had a seizure. She had never had a seizure before in her life or anything like that. And that time she said to me, she said, "Phelps, I don't think I'm going to make it this time." And of course, me being the positive person that I am, and being that, you know, no, we're going to get through this, da, da, da. And she said, I just don't think it's going to happen. And time passed, and she, a day before she passed, I went to the hospital, and I said to her, "I don't want to take your pictures today. I don't want to," because it was hard for me. But I wanted to do it because it's what she wanted. And I mustered up the strength to do it. I said, no matter what, this is what my friend wants, and she wants people to see what she's gone through, so I got to get strong enough to do this photo shoot of her a day before she's dying. And I did the photographs, but it was hard for me. So when we talk about breast cancer and what you ladies are going through, I know what it's like because of my own experience. And one of the promises that I made to her was that I was going to make sure that other people knew about her story. And so every year, since we're doing the show, I make sure I do a show on breast cancer awareness to carry on the legacy of what I was supposed to do. Her name was Delphine Woods. We grew up together. And so this type of show for me means a lot. And you guys had no idea. But I thank y'all for coming on the show, being bold enough to give your testimonies and to tell your stories, to bless somebody else and to save somebody else's life. I know you have an organization. How do people find out more about your organization?
You can go to my website, www.cherishhearts.org, or you can find me on Facebook, Cherish Hearts Breast Cancer Foundation. What the foundation does, I actually started back in 2012 because it's everything that I wish that I had when I was going through. The organization is so much hands-on. I take breast cancer patients and survivors, and I do projects as far as taking them food if they need it, taking them to the hospitals, doing photo shoots. And Mr. Ferrell and Kenneth, they actually did the photo shoot with me last year when I had about 6 breast cancer survivors. Some was suicidal, some was depressed, and you know, I just like, well, I want to do something. This photo shoot was something that was great, and I should have known something because these men were they were just so sensitive to these women. They had them laughing, they had them joking. The ladies came in here crying, upset because they were in pain, but just the laughter and the support that Mr. Ferrell and Kenneth gave them, these ladies walked out of here proud and stepping. And I'm like, wait a minute, you were just in pain 2 hours ago. What's wrong? Girl, I know that pain was gone now, you know. And they just had so much fun. And it's nothing like you having people that care, you know. And that's what my foundation is about. So I get so many people that donate or send me things. And we just put together so much different projects. And, you know, that's what my organization is about. I want to be different from all others. You can have the financial support, but once you have that personal support that's there, that's better than anything.
Yeah.
So, but you can always find me www.cherishheartsbreastcancerfoundation.org.
Thank you very much. And Cheri, you also have something that's coming up called Celebration of Life. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I do. As I said, I am pursuing holistic treatment, and as you know, insurance does not pay for that.
Right.
And so they've told me it's going to cost me about $100,000 and about a year of treatment to actually get completely healed during this time. And so I had to release my pride because I'm completely broke from the 2013 and 14 challenges. And I had to ask for help. And so my friends got together and they're doing a fundraiser for me at Belvedere on October 23rd. It's going to be a really fun event, but we're celebrating life, and the survivors coming out and helping another survivor, and we're uniting around the cause. People can donate online at www.crowdrise.com, and my name, Cheri Kirby, or crowdrise.com/cancer is robbing me of my life. And no amount is too small. Every dollar is helping me get back and forth to Dallas. If we end up going to Mexico or to Germany, we're going to need all the help we can get. And so that's what we're doing, is celebrating life and raising money to continue this journey.
This fight, that is fantastic. And I certainly want to encourage everybody who is in this listening audience to donate money to a great cause. For Cheri and for Latonya, we need your support. They need your support. Please take down the email addresses and the websites, and actually send it to all of your friends and tell them to send it to their friends. We need help. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this edition of the Ferrell Phelps Show. To get in touch with me, you can certainly go to my website. That's ferrellphelps.com. You can also hit me up at letstalkaboutit12tv@gmail.com. That's letstalkaboutit12tv@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, ferrellphelps.com. That's ferrellphelps.com. Until next time, folks, we'll see you then.